What's up, everybody? It is Jabril with Animation Hustle. It is great to see you again. I wanted to try a new type of video today, so please bear with me. Like many of you, I grew up watching tons of cartoons. Everything on Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network in the 90s and early 2000s is what really inspired me to want to become an animator. But around middle school, I stopped passively watching these shows and made the conscious effort to study them. What I mean by that is when I would watch them, I would pause them, go through frame by frame, or maybe trace over the characters, all in an effort to try to figure out how these shows were made. Even though I eventually went on to go to film school at USC, the lessons I learned from the TV screen were all super valuable in creating my foundation as an artist. So I wanted to share some of those lessons I've learned in this brand new series. Let's jump right into it with a discussion of my favorite show, SpongeBob SquarePants. Like a lot of people, SpongeBob has always had a very special place in my heart. It is one of my all-time favorite cartoons, and as a teenager, I actually won a Nickelodeon Animation Festival, and my family and I got to go to Nickelodeon Studios and learn how they make the show firsthand. It was a great experience. It was a great day hanging with family at Nickelodeon, talking about cartoons. It was awesome. The first couple seasons of SpongeBob's are pure classics. You can't deny it. There is so much artistry in the show, from the writing to the storyboarding to the voice acting to the backgrounds to the props to the music. Everything comes together in such an iconic way. It's no surprise that it's such a legendary series. While studying SpongeBob with the lens of an animator and a producer and a writer, I learned four main things. 1, be true to yourself. 2, think about world building. 3, sound is important. And 4, embrace the creativity of animation. First up, we have be true to yourself. So SpongeBob was created by Steven Hellenberg, who went to Cal Arts and was already working at Nickelodeon. But before he made SpongeBob, his first love was marine biology. In the 80s, he was working at the Marine Institute, where he was able to explore his fascination with sea life every single day. His passion for the ocean mixed with his passion for art in an incredible, unique way that would eventually make one of the most successful shows of all time. To me, this is a lesson in being true to yourself. He didn't make something that was following trends or something that was expected of him. Instead, he started by coming up with something that was personal to him. It's hard to stand out in animation these days, and I think that one of the best ways to get noticed is to just by being you. I like to let my own unique interests and life experiences combine with my artistic experiences to create something that is one of a kind, and hopefully you're out there doing the same. Next up, we have world building. I feel like SpongeBob doesn't get enough credit for just how great the world building is. The team was able to create a brand new, distinct world that resonates to this day. Bikini Bottom is a fish city like no other. I think a bunch of small details add up to really flesh out a fully realized world here. There are no cars, they have boats. They aren't hamburgers, they're Krabby Patties. Even the clouds in the sky are unique and iconic. Does it make sense? No. But does it look cool? Absolutely. Looking at the backgrounds of the show, you can tell it's SpongeBob's world. Houses are not normal houses. Their beach is not water, it's goo. There's bamboo sticks everywhere. Cats are snails, dogs are worms. They go jellyfishing. It's such a vibrant world. Fantasy series like Harry Potter and Star Wars often get credit for their attention to detail in the world building. But even though it's a lighthearted, fun comedy show, they went out of their way to create a fully unique world in Bikini Bottom. It's got its own crazy logic that is really fun to explore. I think that's one of the key elements in creating awesome stories. You have to not only give the audience characters they want to hang out with, but also a place they'd want to hang out in with those characters. And SpongeBob does it perfectly. Next up, let's talk about sound. Another thing I learned from SpongeBob that is often overlooked is how to use sound effectively to tell your stories and sell your jokes. We all know the music of SpongeBob, right? The soundtrack of Hawaiian, surf rock, and classical all blends together in a surprisingly cohesive way. But when I'm talking about sound, I'm talking specifically about the sound effects. Some of the best jokes are made even better just because the sound effects they use in the moment. I'm thinking of SpongeBob's Squeaky Boots episode, or even they did an entire episode where they used the dolphin sound instead of the censor bleep, and it's hilarious. A lot of the characters themselves have iconic sounds as well. Alright, so let's play a game. I bet you can tell what SpongeBob character is walking simply by the sound effect. Let's go. I think having such distinct sound design lets the audience clearly identify the characters in a way that a lot of shows honestly gloss over. Not only does the show look unique, but it also sounds unique as well. One of the simple things I learned from SpongeBob is how to storyboard comedy. SpongeBob, as we know, is a storyboard-driven show, so a lot of the jokes are visual, and you have to frame it right and stage it right and get the acting down in a way that the audience knows what the punchline is, and SpongeBob Crew is obviously a master at that. When I was growing up, when I was pausing the show, I would study the shots they would use and why they would use them, and that kind of led me deeper into the storyboarding process. Framing, layout, continuity, all that good stuff. As I got deeper into storyboarding, I found more resources. And one of the best resources out there is an online series by Sherm Cohen, a storyboard artist on SpongeBob. And he breaks down all the principles and techniques they use to make SpongeBob. In his online series, Storyboard Secrets, Sherm broke down the visual language of SpongeBob in comedy and gave us the DNA of what it takes to make SpongeBob funny. But when you break it down, it's interesting to see how much craftsmanship goes into the storyboarding process. I definitely recommend, if you are a starting storyboard artist or just a aspiring storyboard artist, to check out Sherm's Storyboard Secrets. It's online, tons of great info there, but I would not have found that resource if it wasn't for SpongeBob. Lastly, I think the ultimate best lesson to learn from SpongeBob is to embrace creativity and embrace animation. Everything about this show is so unique and so imaginative that it wouldn't be able to be done in any other medium but animation. And it's great to see the team really push that for comedy in all these different ways. Whether they're using puppets or stop motion or live action, all that good stuff. Or if they're telling stories that would be impossible to tell without drawn characters, I think it's important for all animators to look at projects and think, why is this animated? Why are we dedicating hours and hours and hours and hours of frame-by-frame animation to tell these stories? If you don't have a unique, distinct answer, you probably shouldn't be animating it. You probably should be filming it on your iPhone over the weekend and calling it a day. So there you have it. Those are 4 lessons I learned from SpongeBob when studying it as I was growing up. I use these lessons every single day in my professional work, and I hope they inspire you to become a better artist as well. If you watched SpongeBob growing up, tell me what artistic inspiration you got from it. Or in the comments down below, also let me know what shows inspired you to get into animation. Don't forget, we're on Instagram and we have new videos coming on YouTube, so subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.